Hello everyone, and welcome to the third race of the season for Apex Racing League. It's the Chinese Grand Prix, and as normal you join me on my outlap. This is my first quali lap that I'm going to be doing in just a moment. I do show you 2 of the laps that I completed in this video, and then we'll get on to the race. So swerving then to warm my tyres up, you can see on the right hand side that they're mostly warm now. The front right needs a bit more warming. Other than that, mostly there, and see on the mini-map there I am first out of the garages. I've got a bit of a knack for that. I've been first out for I think every race this season, I'm right in saying, I think. So I always like to be first out to get a nice clean track. I know someone coming up pits just ahead of me there, but no worries, he's miles away, so not worrying about him at all. So going to rich mixture then. Coming on this very tricky final corner. You can't really cut it at all. You can just touch the curb and that's about it, and it's tricky not to run wide there. So using as much curve as I can then for the run to the line. DRS is wide open, up into 7th gear. Tapping on the brakes then, coming on this very tricky first corner. It's very difficult to find the optimum line around here. I'm still not entirely sure what the best line is around there, to be honest, but I've got a line that I stick to pretty much. But it does change actually a little bit. Not much so. I was using a bit of curse now at that last corner, opening DRS nice and early. My personal best before this race was a 1:33.7 on prime tyres. I mentioned that I am of course on prime tyres, which is my usual strategy. Got a 0% chance of rain as well. So 24.6 then, first sector. That's pretty much my personal best. Might have gone a tiny bit faster, but that is pretty much on it. So it's been a good lap so far. It's looking pretty good. Kept it nice and tight in the fast corners, the fast chicane there. Kept it nice and tightly to not really touch the curb on the outside, which I've managed to do. Getting DRS open as early as possible then. Into the second sector. What's it going to be? A 0.1. That's a very good time actually. I think that's probably my best time yet. It's possibly my personal best. So it's looking like a good lap so far. I need to hold it together then through this final sector. Coming around this very long corner onto the back straight. It's very important to get a good line through there, as this straight is so long, so using all of my curves then. I'll show you my setup when we get to the race, but I'm using full gear ratios here. The steer wheel is a little bit short on this straight. In the for a very long time, braking bang on the 150 meter board then. Right down to first gear, touching the curb with the inside there, getting on the throttle hard on the exit. Opening DRS, run to the final corner then. Looks like a pretty good lap so far. Oh, wasn't a great final corner there, I was a bit too cautious there. A little bit too cautious, lost a little bit of time. It's a 33.866, so about a 10th off my personal best. So not bad at all, but I can certainly improve it. As we now come around for the second quali lap then. I've been pushed down to 6th place with that lap, which has surprised me a little bit. I thought I might be 5th or 4th with that lap, as my teammate there takes it nicely, some pit exit for me. So I went a little bit wide and I would have liked into the first corner, but not too bad. Bring it nice and tight then. And coming into this second, or I think it's actually the third corner. Hard on the throttle and DRS then, and a bit of curves on the exit of that last corner, coming down for the run to the end of the first sector. And I'm half a tenth up. Still 2 tenths down on Polo. That Onage, he's done an amazing time. He did a 33.1 to take provisional pole position at the moment. But 0.4 in the first sector. I'm losing about 2 tenths to him there, which is amazing, really. I don't know where I'm losing it in that first sector, but that does continue through the whole race. Unfortunately, I lose a little bit of time in the first sector. So I think it's just my line possibly in the first corner. So I touch the curb on the outside slightly there, but get away with it. Just a little tap. DRS is wide open then. We're braking bang on the 100 meter board on the right hand side there. Right down to first gear, my 10th up. 3 tenths down on the Onage though, but that's not too bad. I'm on for a 0.5 if I can maintain that. As I said, he did a 0.1. That's a 0.4 actually, isn't it? On the spot maps isn't the best, obviously. It's got DRS open now, using the rest of my curves, and got a bit more curves than I did last lap, so it's looking good. And I'm up. I will get another lap in after this if I need it, but I don't want to make this lap count if I can. Down in 6th place already. I'm sure I'll only fall back down further. It's braking just after the 150 meter board there, right down then. Clunking the curb nicely. Hard throttle on the exit, a little bit touch the curb there. DRS is wide open for the run to the final corner then. Am I going to be a bit too cautious again? No, keep the revs up. That was a much better final corner there from the run to the line then. What's the time going to be? It's a 1:33.515. 3.5 tenths up in the end. Up to 4th place that gives me. 3 tenths down on pole. But as you can see, a lot changed. Christian and Barcelona have jumped in ahead of Onage. 33.0 was pole, but those two are on options, and I'm down in 7th place. Half a second off. And in the end I was about 4 tenths or so of Onage. So fantastic lap from him. As we flip through my setup now, a couple of different tweaks, like 111, back to 111 balance for this track, and slightly off full left camber there you saw. That's to try and conserve my tyres a little bit. The front tyre wear, particularly on this track, is really quite bad. Let's have a quick look at the strategy there, going for cautious fuel, so confirmation there. First 2 are on options. Onage on primes, going 4th on options. And primes pretty much from their back. So I've not done bad. That's 3 people ahead of me on primes. So it says 8th, I'm actually 7th, so that would have been what, 4th? so it's not too bad, but still. So 6 laps spare fuel then, so plenty of fuel. As the lights come on now, 4 lights, 5 lights, and they're out and we're away then. So trying to minimise wheel spin, going straight to Rich, doing a very good job when wheel spin, but getting a little bit towards the end there. Using my curves then, looking at Mikey now to get some slipstream as the guy alongside me there. I think it's Sol. Gives me a little shove into the first corner, that pushed me a little bit wide, but I'm going to try and maintain my speed on the outside here. I'm starting to lose ground a little bit, but I need to just try and stick it on the outside and hopefully get up the inside of this Mercedes. Oh, as I've been shoved there, shoved right onto the grass and nearly spun it, but just about managed to recover it, and somehow that wasn't a huge accident. I don't know how, but got a bit of a shove there. With benefit of hindsight, I can tell you that that was a bit of a lag bubble caused between 2 or 3 cars, so it's just a bit of a domino effect, a bit of a snowball effect, and unfortunately I lost out in, so racing incident unfortunately, but I did get a shove there right onto the grass, very sideways on the grass, didn't have any choice but to fly back on the track, and it was very lucky not to be a huge accident, to be honest, that one. As I always have a surprise move there, diving up the inside of Igor in the cater room, and I think I've managed it, yep, got the move done, so that was a fantastic move there. Got a better line on him through the first corner, so I dove up the inside of him on the next corner as I'm now looking at boring away from front of me in the cater room. So I need to get these positions back that I lost into the first corner then. As he has a big move there up the inside of the Mercedes. I'm going to try and undercut them now, which looks like I'm just about managing. A little bit of a touch there with the lag bubble, but not too bad. Leaving him plenty of room, looks like I've got the move done. Back off the throttle there, you heard, but nope, got the move done. I backed out of it because I wasn't sure if they're still alongside me, so didn't want to be running them out of room. So I backed off, had a look behind, saw there was no one beside me, so I put the foot back down again. It's cost me time there, includes right behind me. I'm going to stay to the middle of the track, so I'm going to try to go on the outside of me, which is unlikely to work. So I get it all slowed down. Oh, Gypsalon runs wide there, but not quite bad enough for me to get past him, unfortunately, but hopefully I can get him in a minute. Let's put him not close to me. He's on options though, so should in theory be faster towards the beginning of this race. On this particular set of tyres, so it's looking pretty close then, looking at the mini-map. Everyone's still very bunched up after an entire lap, so no big incidents. My incident was possibly the biggest, but of course, like I said, it was very lucky, to be honest. I would have been, I think Sol made a mistake into out the exit of this corner, so I probably would have been ahead of Sol just there. I think Zermac actually started behind me, and he was actually the one that hit me. It wasn't his fault, he got lag bubbled into and then hit me, but so I would have been right up there. That's Ownage just there in the Williams. So I would have been right up there fighting with Ownage. If that didn't have that little accident, but there we go. Just half a second now behind. Oh, as we crossed the last time we were, I'm thinking a bit closer now. As I fall back a bit, those slip songs very wide, but I'm too far back to pull the same move. But you see they gained a lot on him. It's coming down right up to first now then. So I need to just hold nice and tight to him. Hopefully get him in the slipstream. As you can see, I've got almost full curse. Oh, as I run right out wide there though. No, that cost me time. Again, forced me off the throttle briefly there. No DRS this lap, of course. That will happen next lap. I'm just sticking nice and close. I'm still plenty close enough here. So looking good. Oh, Gypsalon gets loads of oversteer there. Oh, was I actually tapping there? Does he spin? No, he doesn't spin, but actually, well, I didn't actually hit him, but I lag bubble hit him there. And, I'm sure we'll play that back, but what actually happened there was he had a slide, hit the brakes, and because he did the brake trick where it auto corrects your slide, that sort of caught me out a little bit because it looks like he was going to go pretty much straight on, but that pretty much made him, well, it made his car do funny things anyway. His car wasn't moving how it was angled with that sort of slide on. He should have been going pretty much straight on, but he wasn't. So it took me a little bit by surprise there and I tapped him, but it wasn't too bad. At least it didn't spin. So only just the fastest lap there. Half a second quicker than me, but of course I had that little crash there with Gypsalon. But that's put me up to 7th place now then, so not bad at all. Up to 7th, so that's the same place as I started. So unfortunately I'm just back to where I started on lap 3, but that's okay. I know it's a long race. I wasn't actually all that annoyed when I got hit off, to be honest. I know it's a long race. And as usual, by me running around the outside, I was taking it quite conservatively on the start. As I said, it's a long race. Races aren't won and lost in the first corner. As we've already found out, since I got hit off, moved back a few places and I'm already back up to where I started. So clearly, the first corner isn't everything. So I'm very close to Barcelona in this McLaren now. Gypsalon's teammate actually. So runs up very wide there, right in his slipstream then. So I will get DRS this lap. As you can see, the tyre already starting to take effect there on the indicator on the right hand side. It's like I'm very close to him indeed. 2/10 up on my previous lap. That's actually purple, fastest of anyone. So I run a little bit wide there, but I'm in his slipstream nicely. Got almost a full charge of curves once again, so deploying that now. Going to be getting nice and close to him. Look at this, getting on him massively. Oh, as it goes last second there, goes to the inside. So I got DRS now. He has got DRS as well, unfortunately. Still, I'm ahead of him at the moment. Going to stay a little bit to the middle, not going all the way to left, but always having to go to the inside. Have to give him plenty of room, which I do. And unfortunately that allows him back through. Still at the inside though, just about. Just about. Hanging on to this inside line. So I take out the bollard there, didn't have a choice. He's given him the place, unfortunately. So I, use a little squirt of curves now just to give me a little bit of advantage. Going to try and go on the outside or possibly inside of him. No, can't go the inside. We break it at the same time. I'm going to try and go all the way on the outside as he puts his foot down a bit. I'm going to do the same. Try and stay level with him, but no, he's just got the advantage, unfortunately, having the inside line. That move is possible. I had to do it in practice on ownage with my teammate. But yeah, didn't quite manage it there. So unfortunately, I do need to get past them. And you can see on the map, let's start to lose a bit of a gap to the guys ahead. I want to be ideally on the podium in this race, but this track isn't my favourite. Not enjoyed racing around it, and I've not been the quickest in practice. Ownage has been consistently quicker than me by a few tenths, so it's not been my favourite track. But still need to remain consistent to try and be in with a shout with this championship. So I'm just sticking nice and close to Barcelona now. Hopefully I can get him in the DRS down this next straight as I fall back a bit from him there. Being a bit more cautious on that corner now, trying not to run wide. It's 8 tenths is the gap behind, so pulling out a little bit of gap to include there, which is good. So hopefully you won't be able to get me. Once again, got almost a full charge of curves there. Going to Rich now then. Going to deploy that now. Going to get into a slipstream hopefully. Yep, here we go. He shouldn't have DRS this lap, hopefully. So I'm getting them already with my curves and slipstream. Opening DRS now. No, he hasn't got DRS. He's still in the slipstream. Going to fly past him on the outside, but it's all about this next corner. But he's still alongside me. So, oh, does he think he's outbraked himself then? Yes, he has. He's outbraked himself. That's allowed me through nice and easily. So that's up to 6th then for me. So I can now hopefully try and catch the guys ahead. But after 4 laps, looking at the field's still quite tight. But the first 5 guys actually are the most separated, look, interestingly. There's only half a second Barcelona was behind me, so very close indeed. As Mikey does a 37.4. That's a second faster than me. He is on primes as well. I've been battling, but of course I've got DRS to compensate, but we'll see what I can do this next lap. Lap 5. So I deploy a little bit of curves there. Still going to be saving all that for the straight just in case the guy behind me does get DRS, but I'm pushing hard to try and get that gap over a second so he doesn't get DRS. 3 tenths up my previous already. So it's been a good first sector. Of course I did go on the outside of Barcelona on the last lap as well. That would have cost me quite a bit of time. 3 tenths probably to be precise. So we're coming through this fast chicane now then. So still pushing very hard, as I said. Not only to try and catch the guys ahead, but also to pull a gap out to the guy behind Barcelona. Get away from my DRS zone. Looks like I might just about manage it. It's going to be close. 1.095. I was right. It's very close indeed. The line is just here, look. So I'm not sure if I would have managed that, but he'd probably be too far back to do anything about it anyway. Still got my curves just in case, but yeah, he's far too far back with all these curves I've got. If I don't have any curves, he had plenty of curves, then maybe if he's got DRS, but no chance. Just looking at the minimap, that's left me in a little bit of no man's land, hasn't it? Halfway between the guys in front and the guys behind. But I'm not really gaining on Soul much, unfortunately. I was hoping to be gaining a few tenths a lap, but that's not really happening. Especially I'm going to stand at the moment. Oh, something right wide there. Kept it too keen with the throttle. As we come across the line now and do a 38.1. So it's still 6 tenths, more or less shy of Mike's lap there. So we skip ahead now to lap 14. As you can see on the right side, the tyres are quite worn now, but not half as bad as I have had them in practice because of my camber settings adjusted. And not lots happening in the meantime. I've just opened the gap out, both in front and behind, unfortunately, which was not the plan. As in, I haven't actually been able to gain on Soul. He's actually pulled out a bit of a gap on me. And the guy behind, I've pulled away from him, include that is now. So I've been a bit in no man's land the last 10 laps or so. But I was taking it a little bit easy on the tyres, but now I'm not. Now I'm pushing very hard. And I do plan on pitting at the end of this lap. So I'm going to push the tyres to the absolute limit now. I'm not going to get a puncture at this stage. They're not that badly worn. 3 seconds was the gap to the guys ahead as they're actually battling. So they should be slower, but they're not all that much slower, are they? Still very quick. As first place now is pulled away. Look at that on the map. Christian has pitted. I think Barcelona actually started second, didn't he? So I've already overtaken him, but Christian has pitted because he was on options. It's 2.6, so again 4 tenths middle sector then. So that's exactly what I needed to be doing. Really in ready for the pits. So I got a bit curves now, Flower using all that. This gap is probably the closest it has been in a few laps. I think it got out to over 3 seconds at one point. 3.5 seconds or so, but again, look at the mini-map, look. Really am in no man's land, halfway between the car in front and the car behind. As I said, I'm planning on pitting this lap. It was provisionally planned for lap 16, but I'm a bit tired of these tyres now. Apologies for the pun. This is very tricky. Pit entry, they need to lock wheels, which I've managed, and not go into that gravel like Hamilton did a few years back. Cost him his race when he was down to the canvas on his tyres. Only just pitting the same lap as me. He did tell me over the radio he was going to pit, but I wasn't willing to stay out another lap. See, they're just pulling out his pits now, so hopefully it doesn't really slow me down. Fingers crossed, I'll allow come straight to the pits, but oh, they delay a bit. They delayed a bit getting onto my car, so that's going to delay me. Yep, by about a second I lost in the pits, but still ahead of the car behind, that's good. But that has lost me a second to the guys in front, unfortunately, but no one coming down the pit straight at least. I'm now on a brand spanking new set of option tyres, so instead of being conservative on the tyres as I was in the last stint towards the beginning, ooh, get a bit oversteer there. I'm going to be pushing very hard from the get-go, as I've got rich fuel now. I'm not going to bother yet until my tyres are warmed up. I'm going to stick to standard for 3.4, so yes, indeed, I have lost a second, unfortunately. That would have been 2.4, which would have been fantastic, but as I said, I probably would have lost the same amount by staying on another lap anyway, so it's all probably about the same, but a little bit frustrating. If there was another second between me and Ownage, I wouldn't have got held up at all. Unfortunately, there wasn't quite enough. There we go. As well as buying up now, we still a bit more blue sky. So it's 2.7 then, so definitely getting that gap down a lot. I think they're battling as well, but I'm, as I said, pushing very hard on these cold tyres. Now I'm rich, ready for this long straight, plenty of curves as well. So 2.7 as they're battling, looks of it. Actually, I think that might be someone who hasn't pitted yet. But even so, that's slowing the guys ahead down, which is exactly what I need. So fingers crossed then, I can catch them up in this stint. As I said, I'm pushing very hard this time. So I think it's the Mercedes possibly. But hasn't pitted yet. Yep, driving to the pits now, so that gives me another couple of places. I was in 9th. Should move up a few now, 3 cars in the pits by the looks of it. So that should put me in 6th. There it is. 6th place. So not really what I was expecting from this race, but there's still 10 laps to go. So fingers crossed I can reel the guys ahead in, which I've done down to 2 seconds now then, so gained even more in the final sector. So race on then. I think I'm now on rich for the whole lap. Now my tyres are warm. I need to catch the guys in front. I think if I can catch them up and get DRS, I should hopefully be able to stay with them, but if not, I might unfortunately be falling back again as I do a purple first sector. They're fastest of anyone so far on these brand new tyres. Of course, a lot of people in the same boat as me. First flying lap, 2.1 now, so again they gain a little bit on me in the first sector, but hopefully that doesn't cost me too much. Hopefully I can get it all back in the middle sector. Let's have a look then. So it does look visually closer, doesn't it? It looks more like 1.8, perhaps. Maybe not, maybe a bit more. I think I might extend it out again. Oh no, 1.8. I've got a good eye for that, haven't I? Good eye for it. So I've managed to pull out a gap to the guy behind as well, so this is good. Need to be catching up to these guys. Oh, bit of oversteer there. Trying to get the power down hard. And using all my curves now. Oh, running right out wide there. Not willing to lift off. It's not stop using curves there. Really pushing hard. You can see it now visually. How hard I'm pushing. No tyre at the moment. Braking after the 153 board now then. Braking very late, right on the limit now. Really pushing hard, especially while these guys are battling. Hopefully that's going to give me the advantage I need, just to at least catch up with them. I don't expect them to knock each other off necessarily, but I at least want to catch them as I do a fast lap of the race there, 35.6. 2 tenths faster than Mikey, so looks like I might have the pace on these options, unlike the primes. That would be nice. Oh, was this a bit of a crash there? Who's that? Zomaka, he's been pushed wide. That's allowed me through. And Sol's now, oh, was a lot of the inside tyre there though. I got all a bit excited and pushed me a bit wide. It's only cost me a couple of tenths there probably, but even so. So I'm now in 5th place then. Pushing now to catch Sol ahead of me. 1.4 the gap is. So it's getting there. Oh, bit of oversteer on the exit though. A couple of stabs out of correcting that as you saw. Actually didn't really lose much time in that first sector because of that mistake. Maybe a 10th. Wasn't too bad. So now I'm still pushing very hard to try and catch this guy ahead of me. As I said, I need DRS. It's going to be close this lap, but I don't think I'm going to manage it. Oh, more oversteer there though. Get right out on the curb. Come on, I can do this. No, 1.5, not this lap. As I said, the detection line is just here. Still about 1.5 when we crossed it, so it's not going to be enough. I need to push harder, make it a reality next lap, hopefully. So I use the rest of my curves now then. And pulling out a bit of a gap to the guy behind me. I don't think he's got DRS, so that's good. Let's try and maintain that if I can. It's braking very late once again, right on the limit. Look at that, only just reached the apex. Really pushing hard now. Still on rich fuel then, I've still got another lap of that. Coming around the final corner now, clonking the curb nicely. Coming across the line then, do I improve my lap? Not quite, 8 thousandths down, how's that for consistency? And presuming that's still the fastest lap of the race, my original time. That's more or less 2 fastest laps of the race in a row. So I can't complain that. 1.3 now to Seoul then, so pushing very hard. It needs to be this lap or never, because I'm probably going to run out of Rich. And he might not be on Rich just yet, but as I said, if I can get DRS, I'm hoping I can stick with him. Bit of slipstream as well. Hoping I can stick with him, because he did seem to have the pace on me, but I seem to have gained quite a bit of pace, don't I, on these option tyres? 10th up already then. So one for a fast lap of the race, wasn't purple, but that's okay. I know I've been losing time first sector. 10th up on myself, which is currently the fastest lap of the race, so it's looking pretty good. As I run a bit wide there, I have to go right down to second gear, really scream the engine to try and force the car to twist and turn in. As doesn't look like I'm quite there. It's going to be close, but no, I think it's about 1.3 seconds or so, maybe a bit more. Yeah, 1.3, 3 tenths up though on my previous. Wow, fastest lap of the race, purple, fastest of anyone so far, so it could be a fastest lap though. Unfortunately, I didn't get DRS, but I might have another lap of Rich if I'm lucky. So close. I managed to pull out a bit of a gap to Zermacher as well, which is good. Guy behind me. Actually, I think we're gaining on the guys ahead at the moment. Very late once again, right on the limit. Nice, touching the curb nicely as I'm possibly inside a second now. Oh, bit of oversteer though. Bit of wheel spin on the exit and back to optimal now, so fortunately I think I'm going to have to back out of it. But let's see, do I get a fast lap of the race? Go to standard just before the line. I do indeed. 1:35.493, 10th and a half up in previous. Actually lost 10th and a half that final sector. It's 1.2 the gap is now. So having to go to standard though, back to optimal fuel. I want to conserve some, hopefully go rich towards the end when I might need it. I suspect I'll hopefully be battling with this guy now. Now it's down at 1.2. Just another 2 tenths over the course of these first 2 sectors and I'll be in his DRS zone, but no, he's pulled out me again. Probably about 1.4 once again, 1.5, 1.4. First sector, so losing my customary 2 tenths there in the first sector, unfortunately, so it's not looking good so far, is it? Unfortunately, but I'm still pushing hard to try and make it reality, hoping he makes a bit of a mistake. That's all I need. Small mistake from him, a little bit of a lock-up, a little bit of oversteer. I'll have DRS and hopefully be on him. A little bit of oversteer from me though, but didn't really cost me any time. Still got more or less a full tank of Kers. Bit of grass on my tyres there. So I'm 6 tenths down, and yeah, 6 tenths down on him, unfortunately, compared to the DRS zone 1.6, I mean. So unfortunately, having to back out the fuel there cost me 6 tenths. And also cost me the DRS. And with hindsight, I probably should have stayed on Rich for 1 lap longer just to get inside that DRS zone and hopefully be able to stick with him, but unfortunately I didn't make that choice. I decided to back out of it so I could do like I've done just then, go on Rich for a straight or 2. So once again I'll probably get down to about 1.2, but unfortunately I feel he's just going to pull away from me now. Yeah, more like 1.3 or 4. Oh, more than that now. Ran right out wide there. And yeah, lost 7 tenths on that last lap, 1.6 the gap is now. So skip ahead then to the final lap of the race. Fortunately I wasn't able to close that gap. As I said, benefit of hindsight, I should have gone for Rich for 1 lap longer just to close that gap down and get within a second, but fortunately I didn't. And I paid, and he's managed to pull the gap out, but both of us actually, over the last 10 laps or so, have been closing down on the leaders, so my lap does still remain the fastest lap of the race. So we had some fantastic pace there when we were pushing each other hard. But unfortunately I've fallen now 5 seconds back from him. That's mainly because his last lap or 2, my tyres have gone. As you see, the gap's now down to 1.2 to Zermacher. I think got out to about 3 seconds at one point. Quite a comfortable gap, but now it's right down at 1.2, so I need to try and push to avoid him getting DRS, but oh, I've run right out wide there though. That wasn't part of the plan. My front tyres are gone. As I said, I was going to push harder right at the beginning of this stint. Unfortunately it's cost me. These tyres are very worn now. Might get DRS, but I've got a full tank of Kers. I managed to save it up. He's 9 tenths. Probably will get DRS. I want 5th place. I don't want to be any lower than that. 5th. I was hoping for a bit more, but it's okay. It's still solid points. I'm using Rich now. Hopefully I can afford to, and all my Kers. And I should be plenty ahead. lead. No worries. So not outbrake myself then. I'm into this final braking zone, which I've managed. Taking it a little bit easy now. You can see visually I'm taking it a bit easier. Oh, apart from the wheel spin on the exit there. Other than that, I was taking it fairly easy. But that's the race over now. Just needs to bring it to the line. Oh, we'll have to be clean. That goes to -1 last second. I do run out of fuel, but just about managed to get it to the line. 5th place for me then in China. And I only managed 3rd. So 3rd and 5th for the Williams guys. Not quite as good as 1-2 of the first opening races, but my fastest lap was the fastest lap of the race then, interestingly. So despite not quite having the pace, still managed to post its fastest lap. But to be honest, I blame that race on just the sheer pace of everybody. It was just so quick. As you saw, I was putting in fantastic laps and only really gaining a 10th or 2 on the guy ahead. Fastest laps were exceptionally close as well. So championship standings then, that puts Onage, Jerome, looking on top there, 58 points, 5 points clear of me only in 2nd place. So it's not been too bad. Could have definitely been a lot worse, especially if you won it. Question now is gained on both of us in 3rd place there, down to just 10 points off the leader now, which is obviously Jerome and Mike, our race winner there. Congratulations to him. 4th place now in the standings, 17 points off already though, so quite a way. But there we go. So that's that. So still only 5 points off, so that's not too bad. Can't complain about that. I just need to remain nice and consistent for the rest of the season. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.